Okay, so we are green light to start. All right, so I'm going to do a call of order first. So today is Tuesday, July 7th. This is emergency legislative meeting of the mayor and council for the city of Rainier. It is an in-person meeting. And we're going to start with item number 1, call to order and pledge of allegiance. Jenny?
Present.
Danielle?
Present.
Valerie?
I'm here.
And I am here is 4-1-0. Joseph is running a little bit behind. He's going to try to make sure he makes it to the meeting. Okay, can I please ask you guys to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? All right, ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the United States of America and to the republic. If you guys could please take a seat. All right, thank you guys so much. I'm going to review the agenda as is customary for us to do. We already went through call to order and pledge of allegiance. Moving on to item number 2, review of the agenda. Mayor and council review the agenda for the meeting, adding or deleting topics of interest or discussion. Item number 3, license fee for the Rainier Artist Loft. The mayor and council discussed the Rainier Artist Loft rent to fee license waiver request. Item number 4, public comment. Please see page 2 of the agenda. And item number 5, adjournment. Okay, I wonder if we could do like number 4, move it to number 3. Thoughts? Would that be better?
I thought you said thoughts.
You don't have your mic open.
Sorry.
So I'm going to go with Danielle, Jenny, and Valerie. Go on.
I was thinking about making that motion or asking to do that, but I don't see any of the residents from the artist loft here yet.
It's open to the public, so
And
whoever
I
it is.
know
it
that
is.
there were some coming.
So please let the record show that Constable Jakuda has made the meeting. Jenny, you had something to add?
I think it's a good idea to switch, have public comment go first.
Okay. Valerie?
I'm okay with that.
Joseph, we were discussing in potentially moving item number 4 to item number 3 for public comment.
I am in favor, and I apologize. Traffic from Linthicum was terrible.
I make sure to let them know you're running behind due to traffic, so you're clear. Okay, so council, I'm gonna ask for a yes vote if we move public comment to item number 4 and rental license to, public comment to item number 3 and rental license to item number 4. So I'm gonna do a voice call. Jenny?
Yes.
Danielle?
Yes.
Valerie?
Yes.
Joseph?
Yay.
And I'm a yes. So please make the record know that we are moving public comment to item number 3 and the item to discuss for rental license to item number 4. All right? So we're good? You make the note? All right. So we have a working agenda. Anything else you guys see that needs to be added, deleted out of this agenda? No? We're good? All right. Seeing that we have consensus to move forward with the agenda as presented, we will move on to new item number 3, public comment. But before we do that, I want to make sure just to bring something to everybody's attention, because there was a question, why is this an emergency legislative meeting or a special meeting? We are in recess between July and August, which means we do not meet. We could meet like we have right now, but it's out of our scheduled calendar. That's the reason why the notice has to go out, just like regular, for people to be aware that we are meeting out of our regular schedule meeting. And we felt like this, because it was time sensitive, we needed to convene and make sure to meet. All right? So just want to make sure to clarify on what we're meeting during recess. Okay? All right. So Pink, is there a paper for people to sign up, or who's mobilizing that one? So do me a favor. There is a clipboard somewhere around in the room. If you guys please put your name on it so I could call upon you guys to speak. So in the meantime, I'll read the rules for the speaker so that way we could move forward with it. So the mayor and city council invites and welcomes comments at a public meeting. The mayor presiding officers will recognize you. Please introduce yourself to the podium, spelling your last name for recording purposes, and give the name of your street and block number, i.e. 4300 block of 34th Street. Public comment has a time limit of 3 minutes per speaker unless otherwise decided by the mayor. While speaking, please maintain a courteous tone and avoid personal attacks. If you wish to lodge a complaint about the performance or conduct of the city employee, please bring your concerns attention to the city manager, who will look into the matter and respond to you. As a courtesy to all the residents and business, the council requests the speaker not use a specific address or names of individuals when describing a situation or making a complaint, noting the block numbers prefer over any specific address. Okay, so 3 minutes. Enjoy, and we do have a timer.
Well, who's the first?
So do me a favor. So Key, we're gonna start the first people and we'll send it back out, okay? Because we want to make sure we're not sitting around only. So I'll tell you guys what order you guys are gonna go, so it makes it easier. I have Thomas, Mayor Miles, Karen Simmons, Tony George, and Tanya Sweat. You guys are gonna have to do better at writing this thing. So Thomas, you go first to speak. Mayor Miles, you're next, then Karen, then Tony, and then Tanya. Okay? Go ahead. Yeah, and make sure that the mic is on with a green light, okay? And you could leave it on. I mean, there's plenty of you guys. Before you start, Thomas, is anybody else that had not signed up to speak at this point?
They're signing up about that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Go ahead.
All right. My name is first and last name and block number, right? Thomas Fedrodi, live on the 4200 block of 31st Street. First of all, thank you guys for having a meeting like this. Second of all, I'm not entirely sure that I understand what the meeting is for. But if I do, I think it is related to this. I mean, well, I think I do. Basically, I graduated after the 2007 financial crisis, and as a country, that has been an extremely tumultuous time, very difficult financial environment to live in. And to be simply, I don't think we should bail anybody out. I don't think we should lower our standards. I do not think that we should prop up a bad company. We need to let people fail. We need to have an avenue to support residents who, we need to bail out residents. We don't need to bail out corporations. We need to find a path forward in that way. If we have a bad corporation that's in our midst, we need to figure out how to get rid of them. I'm a strong supporter of local investment, and when I understand the problem, I look forward to figuring out how you guys can support our local community while holding outside corporations accountable. That's what I have to say.
Okay, thank you so much. Mayor Miles, you're up next.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Excuse me. Wow. First of all, let me say thank you all for the job that you do. And even what I say tonight doesn't diminish that job. But trust me, I'm going to say some things tonight. I understand the meeting is an emergency meeting. And the emergency meetings, as I understand it, are for things that have to happen now. They can't wait till the fall. So I'm not sure what the emergency is. If the emergency is to give a waiver to a business in Mount Rainier or anywhere, I don't know if that's an emergency. That's my first concern. My second concern is we're talking about giving a waiver, as the man said ahead of me, for a business that has not practiced fair, has not treated our residents with respect. The building is now still in terrible condition. The elevator doesn't work 50% of the time. Other times they have mold, mildew. They have trash that piles up in the basement. They didn't have a UNO. They haven't had a UNO in almost 3 years. And we're going to give them $1,000? I have a concern with that. My other concern is, do we have a policy? that allows us to give a waiver to anybody. If we do, are we going to give a waiver to some of our residents, our seniors who've been here for years and actually lose their homes because they can't pay their taxes? And yet those are the taxes we use to run our government. I have a problem with even the concept of giving anybody, as the gentleman said before me, a waiver for being a bad business. But just to give out money or to waive it, is the city so financially wealthy that we can afford to do this? What about our building here that isn't even completed? We need funds to do our work. And so I stand here because this is not a new problem in terms of the management that we're dealing with. I tried to put together, and I hope I got enough copies if I may. May I approach?
Yes, please.
I'll try to give them all to you. Just pass them on. I tried to do
I know.
background on how long this has been a problem. It's not a new problem. It's an old problem that has continued and been allowed to continue with no real consequences to the owners. And I also hold the county liable. DPI, all of those, housing authority, you name, pick one. They've allowed this tragedy to continue. And as I understand it now, the company supposedly are in bankruptcy or filing bankruptcy, and we still gonna give them our money? I also heard that the building is up for sale. So they're gonna sell it and whoever the new owner now don't have to pay us our money? My last question, and I'll sit down. I wrote a whole big old paper, which I'll be happy to leave with you, that asks the question, do we already have a policy in place or a procedure in place for giving a waiver to a business? Have we thought about maybe Kaywood, maybe Queenstown, maybe Queens Manor? I know they have a much bigger tax bill, rental bill than these folks. What is our plan going forward? That's my question.
Okay, thank you, and I apologize. The time is over there, Mayor Miles, I gave you a few more minutes, but please try to stick to the 3 minutes. All right, thank you.
I did pretty good.
It is pretty good, only 30 seconds over.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm sitting down now.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, so I have Karen followed by Tony. Karen, okay, I see you, Karen, go ahead. Pink. Go ahead, Karen.
Hi, I'm Karen
Hello.
Simmons, KarenSimmons, on the block of 33rd Street, not Rainier. And I'm here because I thought it was a sign-up sheet. I didn't have to I'm here to talk to you, but I'm glad that we're all able to come to this meeting because it's an emergency meeting and apparently something to be addressed. And thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you so much. Tony?
Good
Hello.
evening. Thank you for this opportunity. Tony George, 3300 block of Rhode Island Avenue. I am a resident of the Mount Rainier Artist Loft. I've been there since the building opened, and this has been a problem 20 years in the making from day one. In that first year, it's been an issue. I've been in contact with Senator Augustine, and we've been able to reach out to him for the past couple of years to get assistance with issues with management. And we thank you for your support and your assistance with doing that. A conversation started with the Redevelopment Authority back in September. We know that it's a process. It's going to take time. But we're at the point of due diligence was done by the Redevelopment Authority. Money was obtained from the state, the $1.5 million to go towards assisting us with restabilizing the building. A question I had when this conversation started is that more than likely Art Space is going to declare bankruptcy, that they're going to reorganize their assets and cry poor. And that's exactly what happened. So the bankruptcy changes some things, But now we're at the point of an RFP being issued to get repairs done to the building. It seems that there is a disconnect maybe between the state and the county in terms of what the approach needs to be. But as I expressed to Senator Augustine earlier, that at no point has leadership come to the building, had a meeting with residents, and had a discussion about what to expect, what's going to happen next, and what's the future of this building and our residency. So we just ask for transparency, information to know we don't want to be hit with a notice to vacate in 30 days. People have been there, like I said, for 20 years with their art, their life, their lifestyle, and we are a vital part of this community. This building has been a vital part of this community. And we want that acknowledged, and we want to know what's going to happen. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I have Tanya. Tanya? Go ahead. Hi, Miss Ed, how are you? I'm well. Go ahead. The mic is yours. Can you pass the other one? Okay. Thank you, Pink.
Good afternoon.
Good
I
afternoon.
am Tanya Sweat. I represent the tenants who live in the Mount Rainier Artist Lofts. What I'm authorized to say is somewhat limited because of my role as an attorney. What I will say is this. Right now, we have 25 families in that building. And if they're not allowed to stay there, we don't know where they're going to go. Because the building was slated for artists, it's income-based, and I have not been able to locate another place in the county at all that will accommodate them. Along with that, I asked the city to consider the fact that if they are forced to leave, we don't have anybody who can help them with relocation expenses. Because Mount Rainier Art Space LP has in fact filed for bankruptcy. That business is going to be dissolved, from my understanding. And there are very little assets that can be used to help the residents leave, relocate, and set up homes someplace else. We are appreciative of the fact that the county, as the first lien holder, is working to try to make repairs to the building. And the state has already approved retaining it as an income-based property for artists. And the state has made it clear that they want that restriction to stay on that building when it is sold. And so I am working with my clients, with the county, and with the state to try to resolve this in a way that we won't end up with several families becoming homeless. I am concerned that this is taking longer than it should. We, in fact, lost one resident over the weekend. She passed away. The oldest resident of the building died on July the 4th. And so if that does not impress upon us the urgency of this, nothing will. And I cannot specifically stand here and tell you today that her death was caused by that facility. But what I will tell you is we know her health issues were exacerbated because of the condition of the building. And the last report I got before her death was that she did not have air conditioning at one of the hottest times of the year. And the residents bought her an air conditioning unit. So again, it is urgent that we do something to help the residents of this building. So if you are willing to work with the county and the state and with the tenants and allow the county to get the rental license so that we can move forward with possibly renewing leases of the tenants in the building and ensuring that the repairs are made, I think you'll be happy with the residents remaining.
So Thank you so much. I just want to make sure you guys respect time. That's like 10 minutes up. And the other thing I will definitely ask, part of the things that we're definitely asking is like when we do speak that if there is any information that needs to be provided to us. But when it comes to allegations, let's be very cautious of what we're saying, because I definitely don't want to put information that might not be 100% factual out there. Okay?
Right.
All right. Thank you so much.
And we'll be willing to share with you updates on once we get the autopsy and the medical examiner's report. So I don't have a problem sharing that once we get it.
Thank you so much. All right, so I have a second round of lists. I have Debbie, you're up next. And then I have Senator Augustine, who's also here. Thank you, Senator Augustine, for also being here as well.
Good evening. My name is Debbie Saint Singh, S-A-I-N-T. Danielle knows it, S-I-N-G.
Yeah.
I am here representing a group.
Can you guys do me a favor? Can you guys do me a favor, please, while the speaker is speaking and while somebody else, can we please hold back the side conversations? If you choose to speak, you're welcome to do it outside, but I think we need to be respectful of the speakers. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. I'm from the 3000 block of Queens Chapel Road. I come as a representative here of GAT, which is a Gateway for Aging Together. It is a local group, and we are planning on having what we call memory cafes, which are little meetings where people who may have dementia or other senior difficulties, and we would meet and we would have activities for them to do. How it relates to this group here is that we are planning on working on the arts for some of our memory cafes. To kick this event off, we're going to have a talent show, which will have local artists. And, we need, the reason I'm mentioning it tonight is because for 2 weeks now, I've tried to get in contact with somebody from the Arts Commission, have not been able to do so. And this discussion of what kinds of art activities would be useful from Mount Rainier is necessary. Let's see what else.
Okay.
I think that's it. Okay, so I think I've got to give you the information and the need to contact the art commissioner. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you so much. We have next Senator Malcolm Augustine, followed by Perry Paler from the Redevelopment Authority as well. Thank you, Senator, for joining us and for all the great work that you have been doing.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Senator Malcolm Augustine here, proudly represent District 47, which includes Mount Rainier and the surrounding area. I just start by just saying thank you to Mayor and Council for coming together and really doing so at the behest of myself, the Redevelopment Authority, as we are seeking to basically stabilize this building so that the residents can continue to live in their homes. And that has been our intent, that remains to be our intent, has been for the last couple of years, where we have been dealing with the owner of the building, which has been a bad actor that we, quite frankly, have been working hard to get out of the way. And the reality is that is actually where we are now. Where we are now is where we are in bankruptcy. There is a trustee who is doing this. The ask now really is of the city is that the state has made its commitment we brought, like I said, we put in the budget $1.5 million to support getting that building stabilized. The county is also committing support and management in order to get this building stabilized so that it can stay in a form where folks are able to live in a home that has it's got a lot of deferred maintenance that we know we got to work through and get that. The only reason for this ask, the only reason for this conversation is that getting some shared help from the city of Mount Rainier in that process, that we do this in partnership. The state's going to be willing to partner to help on this, and the county is. We're doing all this stuff together. That was the reason for the ask. The ask was, listen, we're bringing in these resources from outside in order to stabilize this situation and get it right, and we're just looking to the city to be a partner in that support. There are other things that I think that Mr. Paler is going to talk to factually about some of the things that are happening there that he can respond to. I could too, but I just want to lay that on the line that that's why. And I just felt it was important to get up and to share that with you all as you are doing this. And I apologize because it's my wife's birthday. And so I'm going to leave in 5 minutes to go and be with my wife. But it was critical to just be here to share with you all sort of why I felt like I worked real closely with the residents for the last couple of years in order to be able to make sure that they're able to stay in their home. So thank you.
And big happy birthday to Lauren as well. Thank you for being here. So make sure we acknowledge her birthday. Ms. Perry Pyler from the Authority, please. Redevelopment Authority. Go ahead.
Good evening, Perry Paler. I'm the Executive Director of the Redevelopment Authority. And I just want to respond for clarifications purposes. We're a quasi-governmental agency, and we've been asked to step in because the building was in disrepair. So we don't represent the company. The company has filed bankruptcy. And so as part of that, we came in to help assist state to use public resources to stabilize the building, fully intending.
I'm going to ask for residents to not come to the podium. If you need to write a note, write it down, and you could, like, we have somebody in the front office, but you should not be walking up to, because they're directing our stuff as well. So if we could please do that, okay?
So I know I have 3 minutes. So I just want to make that clear that we are not associated or connected in any way with the previous owners of the buildings who have filed bankruptcy. That's one. There was an allegation regarding the functionality of the air conditioning unit. We're going to respond to that in writing. We disagree with the characterization that was made. I don't want to dispute this now. We will respond in writing to that. And then lastly, as we said, we're here to help. We came in as a county agent. We are a lien holder. And so, but part of the reason which stimulated the conversation is the management company has indicated last year they made a payment for the rental license. And through no fault of their own, the UNO was not issued. And we realized that was no part, the management company there was nothing to their detriment that caused the UNO not to issue. Now the UNO is issued, but they were not given a rental license last year. So the city did receive the money. And so now it's like, okay, now we're in bankruptcy now. And so they're asking to waive the fee because they paid it last year and couldn't take advantage of it. So we couldn't use it. And now they are being asked to pay for it again. But we have had conversations with the city manager, and we're looking forward to ongoing conversations that may allow us to resolve this short of legislative action. And so that's something that we're very open to, and I think that we can resolve this expeditiously.
All right. Thank you so much. And Perry, are you staying for the conversation that's following, or you also need to leave?
No, I'm staying.
Okay, because just in case, there's any follow-up questions, I just want to make sure it's clear. And to make sure we get you home center. All right. So thank you guys so much. I am going to go ahead and close. You have to move the screen. Nope. One. Okay, no, answer. We do one public comment round, and that's it. Public comment is closed. We need to get to the item at hand, because if not, we're going to be repeating and going into circles, and we're never going to get to this. Can you move the screen? Thank you so much. So thank you guys for public comment. As I stated, public comment has officially been closed. We're moving on to the new item number 4, which was discussion on the rental license fee for the Rainier Artist Loft. Mayor and Council discussed the Rainier Artist Loft rental fee license, a waiver request. So we have here, obviously, our city manager, city attorney. We have our co-director as well, part of our team. We have Afrofino, Mr. Kamali, Elisa, right? Who are also here, part of our team as well. All right, so, this is, Mr. Kamali, you want me to give you the first piece of this? Go ahead.
Yeah, all right. Thank you, everyone, for attending this meeting, and I appreciate everyone. First of all, I'm sorry for the condition. I'm talking to the resident. I'm sorry about the condition, but we've been trying to work with the management. Unfortunately, they're not been responding. So this afternoon, I reached out to Mr. Perry from RDA, and as I informed you in my email, so we're planning to execute an MOU with RDA and give them 90 days deadline to fix all the issues. And I think Mr. Perry is here to attest my conversation. So we're going to give them 90 days to resolve the tenant's issue, and the city is going to issue the rental license, which is going to be a temporary, and it's going to be stated in that MOU that RDA will resolve first all the violations within 90 days. And then also, we want to make sure that RDA, because there is a case court against the tenant, and RDA is going to sign the agreement with that license that we're going to issue. They're not going to go after the tenants. So that will be just, to protect our tenants. And also, RDA will provide a copy of the grant agreement that the 1.5 million, and I know that it is not out yet, and we understand that, but we appreciate to get a copy of it because the city wants to know what is the scope of the work in that agreement. And also, we're asking you to...
Go ahead.
Sorry. Also, in that conversation with Mr. Paylor, we agreed to have a letter from trustee to make sure that specifically is going to elaborate on RDA authorities in this matter. And within the 90 days, also the RDA agreed to pay all the late fee and the current rental license fee. So that's a temporary rental license fee, and we're trying to protect our tenant. No one is going to be evicted, and we want to make sure that the tenant of this building, they're going to have the standard living, and we want to bring the building to compliance. So if you guys have any question, I'll be glad to answer. Give the floor to Mayor, and also City Attorney is here if we need more information on that front.
So I need to make sure that our city attorney and the council and myself, if we have something to say, we also say, Alyssa, is there something that you need to add to what Mr. Kamali said? So we're working in the same playing field, at least communicating in the same playing field. No. The mic? Thank you, Alyssa.
So the public context is not something where I am going to issue an opinion to you about how to proceed. I've spoken with city manager and am comfortable deferring the legislative action so that this can be accomplished, provided that those adequate assurances that he mentioned of making this process consistent with the way that you treat other landlords and tenants in the city happens. And I think the relatively short time period that's being discussed is okay. I want to correct something because I don't think it's accurate to say that the only reason that a rental license wasn't issued last year was the absence of a UNO. The rental license would not have been issued because of the deficiencies in the standards. So it wasn't that we just didn't give it over because there was no county UNO. That is my understanding, that those deficiencies existed last year as well.
Okay, thank you. Redevelopment Authority, Perry? And then, so we could have the facts in front of us, okay? Just give me a minute. Go ahead.
And so one of the things that it's always the details, right? And so we had this conversation while we were both driving here, and so we do want to talk about two things. I did mention to him we have 90 days. I would like a period of extension, and I want to explain why. Our RFP for our contractor is going out July 10th, right? And it's going to be returned August 17th. So I just want to be candid. And then, we're hoping to cure the violations within the 90 days. That does not, we're not going to have all the structure, but we want the option if we're, if we need another period to cure the violations, I'm going to ask for an extension. That's a tough 90 days when you know I'm not going to get, we get the RFPs that turned in August 17th, then I got a review. And I'm on the clock as soon as we sign the MOU. So I would ask for additional, be able to ask for an extension, right? That's one thing. And then we talked about, it was mentioned evictions, and what does that mean in terms of someone other than not paying rent? There's many reasons a tenant can be evicted. And so, like I said, I think we should work with the council to get the details. Because if someone is selling drugs out of their unit or something like that, this doesn't cover that, right? Are we talking about not paying rent? And are we talking about not paying rent from July 1st or August 1st? And that's my understanding, just for unpaid rent or back rent. There is a rent escrow. Monies have been released. So these are the details. I just want to say these are the issues in conversation I'm looking forward to hammering out with council. I don't expect to do that today, but I just want to make sure that we have an accurate reflection of the conversations that we're going to have to reach an agreement.
So I will, Senator, go ahead. Yeah.
I'm just in support of what Perry is saying, and that's the idea, once again, is to be collaborative and work together in order to get this resolved. We've made real progress, actually. We're making real progress. Just to address it relating to the grant, there isn't a grant agreement because I just put it into the budget as a grant directly to the Redevelopment Authority for $1.5 million solely to support getting this into a state of good repair. So there isn't necessarily an agreement. There will be obviously the paperwork that will come through, but that's Perry's paperwork that he will have to do as far as like drawing down on the dollars from the state. But it really is specifically for getting this building into a state of good repair, back to where we want it to get to be. And that really is just so that it's not like a per se a grant process as it was before, other than the agreement that the RDA will have with the state of Maryland as it relates to it. That will be an agreement that they will have.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. If you got it.
So okay, you guys can talk, but Mr. Kamali, I think part of also what I'm hearing before I open it out to council is that so if today we direct Mr. Kamali to go ahead and do that, he'll work with our city attorney to do the nitty bitty gritty down to the stuff on it.
Right.
And then he'll communicate with us about it, right?
Sure.
But I think that one of the things that they're considering is if the 90 days start after the MOU, RFP is given or awarded, so that we have 90 words to work from where the RFP is approved. I think that's something that I'm hearing that they would like to consider.
Well,
but I'm not saying you need to decide today. I'm just letting you know that that's what they're on it, because right now 90 days will be dead time unless if they hire somebody to be able to do it. And I want to make sure that they are abiding by state, because we know abiding by state law that they get the right person that needs to be
certified.
There. Yes. So very good about that. I just want to make sure to bring that out, that that's something that they're asking in order to make sure they have the time to be able to make the repairs based on that.
Exactly.
Okay?
Yes. Appreciate that.
Council, I'm going to go around. If you have a question for Perry, go ahead and ask him, or if you have a question in general, you guys could go ahead and ask as well. So I started attendance this way. So Joseph, I'm going to start with you, and I'm going to go Jenny, Danielle, Valerie. Okay? Just remember what order I gave you, please. All right, go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. One of my biggest concerns going into this was giving financial benefits to an out-of-state business that uses limited liability to avoid accountability that are failing our community, as well as opening up loopholes that do not serve our residents and our ordinances. However, I also don't want to be penny wise and pound foolish. Knowing now that Senator Augustine and Executive Director Paler have worked to get funding to address the issues with living conditions and stabilize the building, it is important to make that happen. But we also need a long-term vision that is sustainable. I worry that we are going to wind up back here in 5 to 10 years without a long-term plan. It's absolutely disgraceful that a project that is 20 years old is in such disrepair. I would like to see a co-op or some other community-focused resolution, but what I really would like to see is the residents of the loft to lead the way to go. But wherever it goes, we need to work together to bring a successful, strong building. And in the short term, I think generally that Mr. Kamali and Executive Director Paler have come to a basis for a solid direction that protects our city's finances and the future living conditions of the building. I did also have lots of questions for Executive Director Paler about the grant agreements and all of this, and it seems like most of them were answered through the conversation already. Because I was like, well, where's the grant agreement? Now, this information has been very helpful. That is already shared, so I will cede the rest of my time.
Okay, Jenny?
Thank you all. I share Councilmember Chakuta's concerns about kind of the length of problems with the building. I appreciate the state putting money to stabilize things. I think the role of council here is to ensure that the tenants are represented and heard from as part of this process. So I'll defer to my council members from Ward 2, since the building is in Ward 2, but I would like to have a hearing. I would like the tenants to be heard and collaborated with. And the hearing, I would like it to happen soon, because I would like the tenants, once the redevelopment authority is making those renovations, I would like to hear from the tenants about how the renovations are going and how they're being impacted by them. So I hope that the redevelopment authority would be open to that. I do have a question for you, Mr. Paler, about.
Can you do me a favor? Can you stand over there so it's easier for you to answer? Thank you.
The question I have is, my understanding is that the tenants are interested in purchasing the building and turning it into a co-op. I don't know if that would be part of the purview of the redevelopment authority, but I'm curious about whether the redevelopment authority could help them with that project.
My answer to that, first of all, that question should be posed firstly to the trustee, because right now the trustee stands in the shoes of the owner. The second place I would direct that answer to the state. While the redevelopment authority, we are the lowest lien holder right now. The Prince George's County and the state are the larger lien holders. So that's the direct place to answer that question. So we wouldn't have a role in what you're saying.
Well, I am curious though, because the redevelopment authority is more local than the state, whether there might be funding to support the tenants in purchasing the building from the redevelopment authority.
Well, once again, I just want to correct the record. We are not the owners. Right now, the trustee stands in the shoes of the owner, and they have asked us to come and assist with the repairs. So, and the county has provided funding and the state, but we don't, it's like me trying to sell your car.
I understand, and that's not exactly
Thank you.
my question. My question is, does the redevelopment authority have resources to support the tenants once we're out of bankruptcy, right? As we're getting out of bankruptcy and a determination is made by the bankruptcy trustee about purchasing the building, about who the new owners will be. I am curious about whether the redevelopment authority has any resources to support the tenants in potentially becoming the new owners of the building as it exits bankruptcy.
No, none at that time, and that wasn't programmed in our FY27 budget. This
Okay.
Thank you.
is not anticipated.
So
Thank
thank
you.
you so much. And I need to get some clarity from staff, because usually like we have somebody that tells us the time, and I want to make sure that I'm not the one running the time. So if it's 30 minutes, can you guys put something up? Because I definitely don't want to be the one to do this. Oh,
You said 30.
no,
It was
30.
like 30 minutes.
No, 30 seconds. I am so sorry, because I was all like, it's already past 3 minutes. I want to be respectful, because my colleagues and myself included, and we all like to speak a lot. All right, go ahead. Oh, no. Danielle, and then Valerie. I apologize.
You're fine, thank you.
This is why I told you guys to remind me.
First of all, I want to say that I'm extremely disappointed that we're just finding out about this as a council on the 29th of June. This has been going on for a year, from what I understand, and this award was actually acknowledged in March and signed by the governor. The money was signed by the governor, the thing in April, early April. And here we are getting the email on June 29th after, 2 weeks, 3 weeks after we went into recess. So I am very disappointed in that. It's also come to my attention that there are people within the city and on council who were aware of this, and that information was also kept from the rest of the council. Going forward, because we got information today that Mayor asked for last week, as far as your letter that was attached to the original email to Mr. Kamali. We've been scrambling to do like new ordinances and all this other stuff, trying to find a way to make this happen. And in this email, it says that you already paid $9,900, or they did last year. And that the request was actually just to credit last year to this year so that you can move forward. And that the only reason it wasn't credited last year and you didn't get the license was because you didn't have a valid UNO. The email I saw today coming from Alma, and thank you for being here today, Alma, said that according to the county, the DPI, via email, I'm assuming, that there is currently a valid UNO. If there is a current valid UNO, this is merely just an administrative stroke of the pen. I've spoken to Mr. Kamali today. I fully support what he said. I support the direction that that Councilmember Hoffpower and Jakuta are going in this. I'm honestly gobsmacked of why we're even here. If it's literally an administrative thing, if there's literally a valid UNO, why are we here? So I wrote today a resolution based on the fact that there is a valid UNO, that we give direction to Mr. Kamali to work with you, to give you the rental license, to work with you on paying fees, fines, whatever extra money there needs to be done, and move forward with this. Because I'll be honest with you, I will never approve of anything that is going to potentially displace even one family in this community. I cannot and I will not support anything that is definitely going to potentially displace 38 families. So if it is merely an administrative situation, if there's truly a valid UNO, let's get this over and done with. Let's adjourn this meeting and go home. Thank you.
Valerie, go ahead, since your word to Councilmember Broswell.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you everyone for all the work you've put into this. I know it's been a busy couple of weeks, years, decades. And I know that this property means a lot to the city of Mount Rainier. I mean, it wasn't invested in originally because it was originally invested in because of the value it can bring to the Gateway Arts District. And so I'm glad that we're returning to, solving the problem that has persisted for so long. I know people in this audience have brought concerns about this building for a long time. So I'm glad that the state of Maryland and District 47 were able to bring resources, bring the County Redevelopment Authority into the picture. I think with the trustee and Mr. Paler working together to solve some of the violations that we've seen over the last year, I think that's really good. So I'm excited to see this happening. I will also say that I think it's important that we recognize that this is the solution that we've been working toward for the last couple of years. I think I've had snippets of information coming through my email for the last 4 years where I'm getting little bits of here and little bits of there, and everybody has a different story, and it's been very complicated to put together the full picture of what's been happening. And I think this is a through line to get something done. So I'm happy with the progress. Mr. Kamali, I'm glad you've come to the juncture where you are, where you're coming through and working with the Redevelopment Authority to make this happen. So thank you.
Okay, so I am next. And thank you, first of all, to the whole entire team. I know it's taken some time trying to get the pieces together because what we realized has been not as a strong communication at the upper level as we would like to. So we managed to pull enough information together to try to solve what it was in front of us. So a big thank you also to Senator Augustine as well as Perry for making sure you guys are taking on to that. I think that part of the concerns that some of us had is like, who was responsible for this money? Right? If it's a person that bankrupted the building, as an example, right, they had to go to bankruptcy, right? We had a bit of concerns. The fact that there's an extra layer of like assignment where the money is going to go, eases some of the worries that, even residents have had of like, is this money going to be given to a corporate instead of like, the county as an example, right? I think for me, the pathway forward that Mr. Kamali has laid with his team, right? And that includes obviously our city attorney and our co-director. when it comes to like working cohesively. I think that also extends the pathway for us to continue communicating and to make sure that at all times we also aware that the city is an active actor and when it comes to our buildings and our tenants and everything else. So I don't particularly have a question for you because my colleagues have asked and and done it, but I would tell you that the fact that Senator Augustine was able to move pretty expeditious, and I also want to thank Greenwood, our lobbyists as well, because they provided that information to us to let us know like this was coming and it was quick. And so I do want to acknowledge one more person. We do have Vanessa from Senator Augustine's office here as well. Though he's not here, his team is here. So to me, I think that we could direct through, Mr. Kamali to find a pathway forward. I think the adjustment that was made regarding when the RFP comes through, I think that every single person, not just in this podium, but also like every single member that's here is very concerned to make sure that our tenants are, the residents that rent are also protective and everything's going to be done for this building. What has been missing hasn't been the will, it has been the money. And I think that now we have resources to be able to make some serious change. This is something that needs to happen, and the conversation might also have to lead in case more additional funding needs to happen. This might be something that we might have to go back to the state and say, hey, more help is needed. But that's something that we're going to have to discuss and follow through. But I think this is at least the pathway towards where it needs to be. And I think from what Mr. Kamali is saying, there's going to be more or less a deferment, but payment is going to be coming. The other thing to point across is the license only good for the current owners. If a new owner comes in and buys a building, they have to pay a new license, even if it's in the same year. So the money does not carry to a new owner, correct, Mr. Kamali Nama? So if this is the current owner, the emergency, they're going to say the new one comes in, they have to pay that new fee. It does not get waived for them. So I want to make sure that that's also clear, and everything I'm hearing is like they're pushing towards new ownership at this point. They're just trying to make the building in the conditions where it's better for the tenants in order for us to move forward, because we're going to be partners on this if that's what we decide, in order to move forward to for the next steps. But Mr. Kamali or Emma, correct me if I'm wrong when it comes to that.
Excuse me, Mayor, I'd like to add 15 minutes to the clock.
Thank you. Can I have a motion on the floor to add 15 more minutes?
I've made the motion.
Second?
I'll second it.
All right, thank you. No, because you said, can I ask for a motion? When you asked, you're not making a motion. Okay, so any discussion? Objection, abstentions here now. We have 15 more minutes added to the clock. And Mr. Kamali, if you and Nama could answer that question for me, it definitely will help me to make sure we get clarity also for us. In the mic, oh, I'm so sorry. So, Co-Director Emma Ferrufino, join the mic, Mr. Perry. Can you just give her enough? So, because the mic needs to be able to pick up what she's saying, not in the room, but out as we're recording. Yeah.
So it is correct in the section that a new owner comes in and has to do transfer. They do have to pay the fee.
Regardless if it's this year or not, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so I want to make sure that that's also because I think the intention is for this building to be fixed and move on to ownership, whatever the new ownership looks like. Mr. Kamali, anything else to add? And I'll stop my
Yeah, I
time.
just want to make sure that because the new owner has, is going to come, the new rental license is going to be issued under his name. UNO is going to be under his name, so we have to collect the fees.
And Mr. Kamali is correct about that. So even though there is a use and occupancy right now, the new owner has to apply for the use and occupancy to correct that.
Okay, so that's at least a fact I want to make sure on it. Okay, Mayor Miles, I do see you, but I want to make sure that I'm fair to the council to make sure there's nothing, any other remark. And I think at this point, is it for Mr. Perry or no?
Oh, no, not for
No, so you go,
I do want to
do you want to say something before we move on to a second round? Go ahead.
I have 2 points, really clarifications. So we're clear because the bankruptcy filed, and I spoke with Mr. Cohen. Merrill Cohen stands in the shoes of the owner, so he'll be a signatory to the MOU, and obviously he's an attorney, and he'll have to agree to the terms as well. And then also there were different options, and Councilman McCarter, I like your option, and I understand it to be a credit from last year to this year. Is that something that's on the table for a negotiation?
I've written a resolution and I have it ready to go if the council chooses.
And I do want to acknowledge Jacqueline DeBose, who's with Riverview Property Management, and she's here today. I just wanted to introduce her. And so I'm here. I'll take my seat. Thank you. Or do I need to stay here for questions?
I don't, do you have a question for him?
No, I have another comment.
No, but I'm asking so he could sit down. That's what I'm asking.
Well, it has to do with him because it's something he mentioned earlier.
So I just want to make sure that at this point, various things are on the table, nothing has been determined, okay? So there's an option for payment to be had, right? And there's an option for credit, so it's a little bit of both as well. So, Council, and so I'm gonna let, okay, Danielle, you could go ahead on it, and then Council open for the rest of you guys, if you guys want to do a second round, including you, Mr. Kamali. All right, go ahead. And Mayor Miles, after this round, you'll go up, okay? I just want to make sure I respect with my colleagues.
You
All right, go
can't
ahead.
deny her the ability to speak.
No, nobody's denying her anything.
I want to get clarification, because I made note, you said earlier you would need an extension beyond 90 days, because of the, putting out the RFP and stuff. So I would like to, make sure that that stays on the table as a consideration. 90 days is 3 months, to maybe ask Mr. Kamali what he thinks as far as the logical extension and, keep us abreast of that decision and keep it within those bounds.
Mr. Kamali, you could reiterate the same thing you said, but I think we had agreed that how do you call it, like once RFQ is like picked and selected, that's when the 90 days will roll.
Okay.
That's more or less what it had.
I see Alyssa raising her hand. Is that what you're saying as
So,
well,
Alyssa?
ma'am?
Alyssa, if you're not in the mic, they cannot pick up what you're saying. I know, I am so sorry.
Clarify something with Mr. Paler. The repairs that are required to be done.
On the mic, thank you.
The repair, so could you?
Yeah. Yeah.
The repairs that are required to be done as a condition of the issuance of the license, that we're going to issue the license in advance so that they can be done. Are you saying that the scope of work in the RFP will include those repairs, or that the project that you're anticipating doing with the $1.5 million is going to supersede those repairs? Because my concern is, and the conversation that I had with the city manager earlier today before his conversation with you, is that those repairs, which seem to me to be relatively minor, get done for the tenants, irrespective of whatever plans you may have for the major remodel and renovation of the building. And I'm concerned because you're now saying that it's going to take you more than 90 days. And I've seen the list of what's required, and those repairs don't seem like they are required to be wrapped into your RFP. So I just want to clarify about that.
So stay right there, Liz, in case you have a follow-up question.
It was our
Go on.
intention to have it be a global process. So to wrap the violations into, to make sure we cured it all at one time. But I've worked with Ms. Farafino, we communicated, and so it's our intention. But that was always a part. It was just to have it as one process. This is before we, obviously we've had these conversations. It was the violations and the repairs. So once we get our contractors out there, we just do it all at one time. That was our plan, obviously, before coming today. And so that's why, if we start the 90 days, if we can get the temporary license, in the next week or two, we'd still put out our RFP. And then for the minimal, we would start with the violations. So even after August 17th, take us a week or two to make the selection. Then we're in late August, with the violations at the top of our list.
I guess what I'm asking is.
Mike, please. I know, trust me, we're not a fan of that neither.
I guess what I'm asking is there a reason that those repairs, which again are things like broken windows and that sort of thing, can't be done before you put an RFP out for the major remodel?
Generally, that would require a second solicitation. As you know, we all have procurement rules. And so for us, just in terms of the, advising my board and from a business perspective, we would want to do it all in one procurement. And while we're talking about weeks, and I know this has been going on for years, I think that's the cleanest way. And plus, we'll have one contractor, one set of plans, And we can all together look and say, hey, who to hold accountable, one collar to pull that was responsible for all of the work.
So what is your
Mike?
what is your estimated time for the completion of the total 1.5 million project?
And I'm Ken, I don't have that right now. And so it's not till we see the proposals and see what it's going to be.
So you can understand what my concern is, because you're not really actually committing to anything.
No. I don't. First of all, I don't know if we need to do this here, so we can talk offline.
Well,
yes,
except that I'm
that's-
waiting for instruction. from
That's
my
fine.
client.
So can we, because if we direct Mr. Kamal to something, you guys are gonna be able to like find line whatever this is, and if they have to come back for another meeting, we'll come back for another meeting, but I think that we need to figure out what direction we're heading. All right, so Danielle, that have the floor. Jenny, I'm gonna give you the floor after her, if you want it, and then I'm gonna go to Ward 2. Danielle, you have the mic.
Oh, I'm sorry. I already asked my
You all
question.
set? All right, go ahead, Jenny.
I think there have been a lot of different suggestions going around, but even though I like Councilmember Carter's kind of simple resolution, I do feel that given the complexity of the situation and the questions raised by our city attorney, that the MOU solution sounds good. I don't think that we need council action for that. Just as a procedural matter, I think the city manager is fully empowered to enter into an MOU. I do think the role of council, as I said earlier, is to ensure that residents' views are taken into account, and the tenants directly affected by this are as part of that. So I hope, Mr. Perry, Mr. Taylor, that you can be available or someone from the Redevelopment Authority can be available to be meeting with tenants to answer questions and make sure that they understand everything that's going on. And I really appreciate you being here tonight.
Okay.
And so we have a general counsel so just to add another lawyer to the mix, right? So we'll be working with our general counsel.
Okay, Joseph?
Thank you, Mayor. I did want to say one thing first, based on something Councilmember Carter said. I do think we would be in a better situation now if information about the money was more easily shared with the council, both in terms of its existence and the process to get this through. Though I am thankful that Senator Augustine was willing to share this information with us. As far as I do now have two specific questions for you, E.D. Paler. First, would any of these repairs result in any of the residents being temporarily dislocated? And if so, how will you go about that process? And second, you probably aren't going to answer this, but I'm going to ask anyway, how long would you theorize the bankruptcy process will take?
I'll start with the second question. The bankruptcy process is tied to the repairs, right? And so we expect this to wrap up, hoping late fall, early winter, right? Realistic timeline, weather permitting, and all these things that I can't control, right? We did do a CNA, a comprehensive capital construction needs assessment, and so that'll be provided to the successful bidder. So that number two. So I meet every Monday with the bankruptcy team. Ms. Sweat has been a part of some of those meetings, and I don't know what happened, but I'll make sure you get the invitation next Monday. So we have a team meeting with the bankruptcy team, trustees, bankruptcy. The trustee has his own lawyer. So there's a lot of lawyers on the call from DPI and myself to make sure that everything's moving smoothly. So we will continue those meetings, and then from there, we'll get to the sale. What was your first question?
The first question was, will any of the repairs resulting in the residents being temporarily dislocated? And if so, how would you go about informing them and addressing that?
Right. There have been conversations regarding relocation. From what my understanding is that there's a possibility to relocate within the building. So as we drill down to specific units, there are vacant units. It's my understanding. If I'm wrong, somebody will jump out. There are vacant units that are in good condition, and so there are units that need to be repaired. That's my understanding. I haven't been to the building since February. But if there is a need to relocate, then it's my understanding that it'd be our goal to offer relocation within the building. That's my understanding.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. And with your timeline of having this wrapped up by late fall, I think December 24th is when the trustee bankruptcy, that's when it ends for right now. So I guess my only question for you is, like, how long would a relocation take? Like a month, 2 months for each apartment?
I don't want to give a number within the same building. How long would the repairs take for?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be able to better respond to that once we've seen the responses and a selection is made.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. Mayor Miles, I'm going to cede you the floor so you could come up. And then I'll go to Mr. Kamal, and then I'll have something to say as well, okay?
I was hoping he wasn't going to get to leave.
He's here.
Question.
Yeah.
Has anyone seen the UNO?
Yeah, it is valid. It has already been confirmed.
My understanding, and maybe the law has changed because I've been gone for about 4 years, you have to have the repairs done before a UNO is issued. Is it a temporary UNO?
Alma, do you have the answer? It's just a UNO.
So the law doesn't apply, or did the law change?
That is a question for the county because they're the one that they give it out.
We should be asking it.
So we did ask if it was
We're talking
valid.
about waiving money.
We did ask if it was a valid UNO, and the answer came back from the county saying yes, it was.
Our attorney is here. Did it change? Did the law change?
Elisa, I need you in the mic, but it's going to be short and concise.
Short.
Yeah.
That was my.
I'm sorry.
Question.
So I think we might be conflating two different things. There's the use and occupancy permit, and I don't know that required repairs, but there is the rental license, and that did require repairs. And so what I was trying to convey earlier is that this information that keeps being presented, that the only reason that the license wasn't issued was because of the missing UNO, was not entirely accurate. It wasn't issued because there were repairs to be done that hadn't been done. So I don't. The direct answer to your question is I think the UNO is valid. And I don't think it was conditioned on repairs.
May I ask another question while you're still here? If the UNO is valid, and there's a court order out there that says that the UNO wasn't issued over 2024, none of those repairs have been made. And my understanding, if you don't have a UNO, you can't rent. So how are we renting and getting a rental license if you can't rent because you don't have a UNO because the repairs haven't been made? That's just a question.
That is a thing I am not prepared to opine on.
I'm only saying that because that's what the judge said at the court hearing.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
It should be inside our scope because we are responsible for the use and occupancy of buildings in our city. Mm-hmm. That's why we have our own code enforcement. That's why we have supposedly units and rental units inspected and all of those kind of things so we can make those kind of decisions. And our body here is responsible for that. And if we can't validate for ourselves, how do we validate it for our community? We need the UNO. You can't rent in the county, according to what I read and according to what the judge said from the bench. You can't get a UNO if the repairs have not been made, and that's in a court order. And we were guaranteed, or not guaranteed, promised that those repairs would be made. And then you go to the UNO, then you're allowed to rent the building. Because in fact, if there's no UNO, how do you rent?
So
how do you need a rental license if you can't rent?
So I would say there. So
I'm happy to answer this.
Can you come up, tell us your name and the organization? And
I was Vice President, Riverview Residential, and answer the valid concern. And I think the confusion came in with the judge during that court case that a UNO never existed for the building because that's what was brought up. That wasn't the case. So there.
Okay, we're not going to go back and forward, please. Everybody has their own time. And before you start, I need to ask council to please give me 10 more minutes on the clock because we're over time. Council, can I make a motion for 10 minutes on the clock? Go ahead.
I move to add 10 minutes to the clock.
Second? Second. All right, so probably moved and second. Any discussion? Seeing none, we're adding 10 more minutes to the clock. Go ahead.
So in the case, of what she's referring to, it was in order to have a new UNO issued, the repairs would have to be made because the judge was under the assumption that no UNO existed. Once the UNO was discovered and it was in existence, then it didn't require the repairs. It's the rental license for the repairs. So I think that's where the confusion comes in. The judge was ruling on the situation based on the fact that they were told that there was no UNO that ever existed, which was incorrect. So.
Okay. Thank you. All right. So before I open it, we have a decision to make tonight. I'll open it for one more person, but the honest truth, like at this point, I think I need to cede time to our city manager and I have something else to say. I said, okay. I said, but that'll be our last person on the deck. Okay, Tanya, go ahead and go.
I'm sorry. And what I want to think, I'm going to clarify one thing. Now that I know my client, thank God, is still alive. Her caregiver died over the weekend.
Okay.
But I brought.
Thank you for that clarification.
I want this. I want you to have this. I'll print another copy. I have it. This is the sticker that was put on the door by DPI on June 25th of 2025. This is the issue that we were litigating. I was the litigator in the rent escrow case. There was a UNO issued in 2005. This was put on the door in 2025, and we've never gotten clarification why this was posted on the building, and I know it was not resolved. Because before it could be resolved, and that could be reported to the judge in the district court, the landlord, the owner, filed bankruptcy, and the case was stayed. The rent money that was collected in escrow was then returned. What was left was returned to the tenants. So we still have the question of why was this, the building is not approved for occupancy sticker, placed on the door in 2025. DPI never responded to the judge's order or the subpoena to
Tanya,
show.
can you do me a favor just for clarity? Can you let people know what DPI is? Because
the county's Department of Permitting, Inspections, and Enforcement.
Thank you, because you're showing the paper to us, which is the right thing, but I think that when you speak, no, people have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm going to give you this exhibit for your record.
Okay.
DPI was ordered to show up in court. They never showed. They sent a statement, never appeared to testify. And your code and compliance officer said this sticker was placed on the door by DPI, and DPI was the only one who had jurisdiction to explain it. And this has never been explained to this day. Mm-hmm. And I'm getting mixed responses on behalf of my clients.
Okay. Yeah, so I just want to make sure that this computer's going to drive me insane. I just want to make sure that it's clear that it is a county. That's the reason why the city doesn't answer for the county, it's the council who answers for the county. And most of our licenses are usually given by the county, and they basically show the city that they're approved and we move forward with. There's very few licenses that the city gives. So in this case, it was the county. What I can say that we are aware of is that it was given in May. At least we made aware that it was given in May. We were told it was given in May. Recently we were told, right? And that's more or less where we're at with this. All right, so I haven't said nothing much in my second round. And council members, it doesn't matter because everybody took whatever time they wanted. I would say that the reason why we had it to meet is because we wanted to make sure we respect open meeting law. It's very hard to communicate between the city manager, the attorney, one of us, and back and forward. She said, so this was the easiest solution to be able to all be in the same room and have this conversation. And I think that if we're directing something to the city manager when it comes to something like this, it's definitely easier and more transparent to do it here, right? It makes life easier so that way we get the understanding of the people in the same room. And that's more or less the reason why. There was a remark made something about the funding that was put aside. That's a decision that Senator Augustine made based on a decision that repairs needed to be made. And it was a quick turn. I mean, it's the quickest turnaround I've seen in my life, But it also tells you the urgency that not just the center and the delegation, but also the other legislators felt in being to invest into this building, because I think that at least, mind you, I follow legislation very closely when it comes to it, right? It was basically like given to us in an email by our lobbyists, and I think they voted like right away. I think it took longer for them to like create the document and for the vote to happen. So I just want to make sure that we're clear on something. This is something that was not discussed through the whole entire legislation, but it was like things change. And we thank Senator, the delegation, and the other, and those that voted in support because they knew the urgency of the money that we needed and it couldn't wait another year. Because he definitely had to have strong relationships for that to happen. So it doesn't go past by me how quickly that moved, and the fact that we have the funds that are available right now, right? So in saying that, I think that there's various things that are in the table. I think that heavily includes that heavily includes having our city manager work with the team to be able to provide the things that they need, and he'll give the council abroad of what's going on. But the other people need to sit down to try to get this MOU to make things move forward. There is at least 2 versions of resolutions that are here. There's also another ask to just, we could just vote to direct the city manager to do what he's going to do. So that way it's in the record that we have empowered him to do it. And that way it's a team working together and getting that nitty bitty gritties that they need to do. Okay. But more or less the reason why we called the meeting was because of that. Just too many people. Then I love you all, but keeping up with those emails back and forward and pieces of everybody asking questions was not fair for all of us, but also not also for the team because everybody was being pulled right and left. So in saying that, council, there's a couple things. The easiest route is just to direct the city manager and his team to do the task at hand. I will go ahead and put that first thing on the table, and I'll go through all of council to figure out if this is what they want. If everybody in the majority moves forward saying, yes, that's what we want to do, we are not going to get into resolutions and everything else that goes along with it, okay? If it's the will of the council to not do that, then we might go further. But I don't want to go to 4 different actions if we are focused on just doing what we're supposed to be doing. All right, so Ward 2. So this is our responsibility because although I'm not a council from Ward 2, I'm voted by Ward 2 as well. So I sit in the middle of both wards. All right, let me have your thoughts when it comes to this, what it is that you want to do next. Go ahead, Valerie.
I am okay with directing Mr. Kamali to work with Mr. Paler and the team, attorneys from everywhere, to come up with a solution. I would like to see, once you guys have crafted an MOU, I think it would be good for the council to see that before it's signed, just so we can have a full picture of what is being signed. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Joseph.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to see us make a verbal motion to direct Mr. Kamali to work with the Prince George's RDA to develop and come to an agreement on this MOU to keep us informed of major milestones and to share a draft, as Councilmember Woodall said, of the MOU.
All right, thank you so much. Danielle, Jenny?
Yes, I wrote a motion, but it's not exactly what everybody's saying about the MOU, but I agree we need to make a motion to do that.
Go ahead, Jenny.
I agree with Councilmember Woodall and Councilmember Jakuta and Councilmember Carter.
Okay, I'm in full agreement too. And when I say direct the city manager, that's the reason why we're here, and there's a reason why the meeting was a voting meeting and not a work session, to give us the ability to vote on something if we need it to be. So Joseph, are you writing the motion? Okay, so Mr. Kamal, okay, so
Mayor,
let me start.
I'd like to motion that we add 10 minutes to the clock.
Yeah, thank you. Don't just say, can I motion?
I did.
I like to motion. Go. Say, there's a motion on the floor to add 10 minutes on the clock. Can I get a second?
I second it.
Is it probably moved and second? Any discussion? Abstentions? Hearing none, we are in 10 more minutes to the clock. All right, so give us 1 minute, Joseph, to get us through, but more or less it's in the line of authorities, Mr. Kamali, to work with the redeveloped authority and the various key people, Senator Augustine office, the county, the state, along with our teams, in order to create an MOU. And we have requested that the MOU is shared with council before it's being signed. Alyssa? Oh, see, Alyssa? Alyssa, you need to just sit right there. Go ahead.
I can learn. Yeah. It's not an MOU. It needs to be an agreement.
And thank you for clarifying that.
There's no such thing as, I know people say it, but an agreement.
An agreement, that's fine. Yes, go ahead. Mr. Perry?
And I'd like to offer a friendly amendment.
Go ahead.
And that we add the trustee Merrill Cohen as a signatory, because you continue
Yes.
to say RDA, and I'm here on behalf of the trustee. So we add Merrill Cohen as the actual owner.
But we could add it. I mean, it's not gonna, right? It's not gonna hurt. That's why I said all the key players. You guys are terrible. But it's as specific as I can. So, Joseph, how are we? No pressure.
30 seconds.
No countdown. I'm just kidding. So in the meantime, as we work through writing the statement, so that way it's clear, Joseph will also share with our clerk and our team, so that way it is added to the minutes. Okay, you ready? No, sorry.
Okay.
Go.
The clerk will not be able to read this.
Type it when you get home. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
I move to direct the city manager to work with the Prince George's Redevelopment Authority, the trustee, and other relevant parties to develop an agreement to resolve issues with the Mount Rainier Artist Loft, and to share major milestones and a draft of the agreement with the council.
I second.
Okay, so it's probably moved and second. Any discussion, council? I need to hear a verbal yay or nay from you guys. No,
No.
good? No discussion?
No discussion.
Valerie?
No.
Joseph? Any discussion?
I wrote it, so I'm good.
I need to make sure it's on the record. So the answer is no. Okay, so there's a motion on the floor. All those in favor say, turn your mics on. Aye?
Aye.
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 Okay, any objections? Abstentions? Hearing none, we have officially authorized Mr. Kamali, our city manager, to move forward with his working group and the various members in order to move this forward. Joseph, the Office of Senator Augustine was also part of that one, or no?
I just said other relevant parties.
Okay, so let's make sure that they're included on it because they're key holders on it, okay? So we're good with making that adjustment, that the Office of Senator Augustine is also like a brief of this? Yes?
Yes.
Danielle?
Sure.
Jenny?
Yes.
Okay, Joseph, if you could make the amendment, we're all in agreement on it, so just make sure that they're in the loop of communication, okay? So there is nothing to address beyond this, so we're gonna go to adjournment. Please continue watching the city's social media. We have quite a few events, including Safety Night that's coming up from the police department. It's gonna be held outside City Hall. Come on and have fun. All right, so can I have a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved.
Second.
It's been probably moved and second. Any discussion? Abstentions, objections? Hearing none, this meeting comes to an end. Thank you, Mr. Kamali.